I'm still on the fence of whether these people are good people or bad people.
That's the next thing. Is because now you can't trust anyone or anything. If someone gets in a position of power, the question is, are they there to fight the system, or are they actually secretly a psyop to serve the system as an antagonist to make you believe that they're fighting the system?
Well, let's go down this rabbit hole too. You're tuned into Everything's Energy. I'm Michael Scaler. I'm here with
Roland
and
Marino.
And today we're going to have a very lighthearted and fun discussion about a great deal of things. And I don't even know how to express it other than stay on the edge of your seat, because this is probably going to be just as hilarious as it is crazy. And to start it off,
I think I know how to express it.
We are going to don our hats.
Okay, here's how we express it.
Welcome to Everything's Energy Tinfoil Hat Edition.
My third eye's got to be able to breathe.
Is it breathing?
I think so. I think I carried the gap perfectly.
So we wanted to have a conversation about conspiracy theories. 9/11's an inside job. The government's watching us right now. Pigeons are listening devices, and so are cats, apparently. I guess let's start with 9/11. That's the deepest one and non-political. I believe, when you look at the Building 7, no plane hit it and it fell. It's kind of an obvious something weird happened. Apparently, people took out the owners of the buildings took out insurance policies, a month before, maybe less, and obviously, it's just all. I mean, I've seen videos where they're saying it was holograms that hit too. I don't know if I really believe that or can subscribe to that. The technology was definitely way ahead of its time if they, were able to do all that. What are your guys' thoughts? Roland, let's start with you.
I mean, I've always sniffed the bullshit on 9/11 from the early days. After you got over the shock and awe, you look at things and you go, how does something hit up so high that all of a sudden a building that is meant to withstand essentially any physical trauma to it just implode? And it was very choreographed in that sense. So if you look at how all of the variables came together with 9/11, it's always seemed like an inside job. But the risk is you sound crazy when you bring these things up.
Well, I mean, this is actually the least tinfoil hat probably topic that we're going to get into because, I mean, it's in the mainstream media making a joke about how it's just the craziest conspiracy theory that's really not very theoretical. Like, I remember I had a Napster back in the early 90s, and they were literally putting out that documentary on basically just laying out how it was an inside job as like some other major mainstream video title at the time in the pirating software. And I remember downloading it and just watching the whole thing and be like, I don't even care if this isn't what I was intending to watch. Like, this is crazy.
I have to watch it now.
Yeah.
If you think about how much the world has changed since 9/11, if you look at it from a long view perspective, if someone was conducting or controlling this whole thing, it kind of seems like that was a very important point, because after that, a lot of things ushered in terms of world security change.
Yeah.
Well, the war on terrorism, but even,
take your shoes off now.
I remember being able to go into the cockpit when I was a kid and in planes and just like, oh, I can see what the pilot's doing. And now, if the pilot goes to the bathroom, you have this blockade, and it seems so extreme, but we've become rationalized to this ultra security, taking away our perceived sense of innocence.
Yeah.
And anything that we do when we travel.
And a moment of silence for the fact that we've all lost so many liquids and creams at TSA.
I have bought so many good quality products internationally that I knew I could not order in other countries, and they're just...
I had hummus once, and they took my hummus. I was trying to eat healthy. I had hummus and I had vegetables, and they're like, you can't bring this on the plane, sir. I'm like, are you seriously taking my snacks?
Yeah. I mean, it's all drama too, because like even what you meant, I didn't know about the whole pilot going into the bathroom until I experienced it where I was going to go. And the stewardess like lost her mind. She was like, stop. And I was like, what's going on? It's like, if I really had an intention of like, if I'm at a point in my life where I'm giving up my life, you think you're going to stop me?
Yeah.
You're not.
Lady, it's a number 2. Get out of my way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all, I mean, it gives you this sense of safety. Right, it's like all the securities and all that stuff. But if someone really wanted to, kind of backtracking, when I look at that, I like to look at the science of it all, which is like, oh, here we are bringing science into a conspiracy theory. But there are certain things that are just objectively true that you can't kind of argue against. Number one, if you look at the way that the demolition happened, right, it has a very design, a very specific
building
design
fell
in the way that
straight
it
down.
fell, and
An
it was
implosion
exploding.
has to be planned.
Yeah, and there were like explosion even before all of that. You also look at the temperature of jet fuel and what it can and cannot melt, and what temperatures are required in order for steel to kind of decompose and break down.
That much steel.
And then also we had an incident with Empire State Building where a building did hit it, and so when they build the Empire State, when they build the World Trade Center, that was one of the things. It was like, we need to design this such that if it gets hit by a plane, it doesn't come crashing down. And so I don't know, all of those things and the way that everything kind of fell through, and the whole. There are other things also with the Pentagon and.
Oh yeah,
Whether or
I mean,
not
there
that
was
was a
no plane
plane.
there.
Yeah.
they took all the footage and hit it. It's like, okay, it was probably a missile. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
say for a fact, but
And George Bush did finish his children's story after he had been told that the planes hit the tower.
upside
man.
down book. too.
Yes, upside down book.
I mean, and then any conspiracy theory. Here's how I start looking at it when people go, oh, I'm like, well, is there money to be made? Because that's normally the root of a false flag or a narrative. And so they were there. I think we were like $5 trillion missing in the Pentagon, and that just hit the news, and all of a sudden those offices got blown up.
Interesting. Yeah.
There's no motive there to destroy the offices where the investigation was occurring. That would never be.
Why
an
would you
issue.
get rid of information?
No, $5 trillion. That's
Documentation?
not very much money. I mean, you're trying to achieve something, so you have a couple of things, and here, well, tinfoil hats on. What? Hey,
Too late.
and you're like $1 million in sharks with laser beams. It's kind of a logical path that maybe they took. Was really it came down to we need. If they're not working or contributing, maybe they should go. So there's a huge financial gain. They're back to that follow the money.
No, not at all. The thing about vaccines too, and this culture kind of came to me having a conversation with someone. One thing that COVID did was it stimulated the pharmaceutical industry in the same way that war does the financial industry, because people started to get tired of drugs, drug advertising, marketing. You can only give a drug to someone who needs a drug reactively, but you can give a vaccine to everyone proactively under the right conditions and context. And you're right. It's in the sense that people cannot admit to be wrong sometimes, so they'll uphold a narrative to save their own shame and their own guilt or remorse. But if you also look at what COVID did, that dynamic created massive divide.
It did. It's still to this day.
To
Yeah,
this
to
day,
this
but
day.
I'm not saying that, but maybe it's something to think about. Like, what do you guys think about the narrative of the government, the global elites, those who are trying to control and suppress us for their own benefit?
Well, the people who are in control, in theory, because we're tinfoil hatting,
In theory, it's
if
all
they
in
had
theory.
lots of money and power, then obviously they have enough money. Typically, if you look at some of the higher net worth elites, they have enough money. What they would seek then would be power. And let's say you are just playing this game of elite power, and you can buy anything. So, all right. But what you can't buy is a reaction. So let's say that maybe it's just all hilarious to them. They're like, look what we made the monkeys do.
It's a game.
It's
It's
a
an
game.
inconsequential giant game.
Yeah. So like you had the Black Lives Matter thing go, and they, hey, look, we made mobs. Isn't this hilarious? And then the trans movement. And so, I mean, and this is a crazy thing too. I feel like racism became more prevalent when they shone this giant light on it and made it a big issue. Because I remember being in school in the early, through the 90s, racism was on a decline. It was like, no, we're all humans. And then all of a sudden, it was around probably Obama era, is like, oh, there's injustice, and all of a sudden racism shot up. It's like, okay, it was literally disappearing. It was on its way out. And then the media goes, oh no, we can't let this divide tactic disappear. So we need to like inflame it. And then it just continued to inflame. And then you have the queer community. And honestly, I've never cared. You love someone. That's great. And most people seem to have that perspective. And then all of a sudden it became this giant line in the sand and a political movement. And now you have people that are kind of anti-gay because it's been thrown in their face so much. It's like the woke movement, the go woke, go broke. You actually see people like, I'm not even going to watch Disney anymore because they promote this. It became a divide and conquer strategy. And you have a masculine, feminine divide as well that occurs. I don't know if that's so much as a societal or a political one, or maybe that'll be next on CNN headline news.
What's crazy, it all comes from the media.
Yeah, it
right?
does.
The world is just living their world, and then the media says, "Look at this," and then it starts to create narratives and change people's behavior. And they're all kind of like they're strategies that like kind of get deployed. Like, do those things happen? Yes. Are they bad? Like, of course.
The monkeys
But-
are rebelling. Quick,
yeah.
more divide and conquer. Push the button. You need to be upset about this today. But grapes are all mind control devices. Don't buy grapes.
Only green ones. But there was a period of time, and I remember this meme that basically was a cartoon person that just says, "I support the next thing," and it was like there was needles in the person's arm, a Ukraine flag, a trans flag, and you said that perfectly. It's coming from somewhere. It's a message. So to play the devil's advocate here, someone has to be seeding this message.
The puppet masters.
Have you seen that video where they have like 20 or 30 or 50 news anchor shows playing at the same time, and they're all
Hundreds.
saying
Yeah.
the same
Yes.
thing?
Well, most media is conglomerate, so it's all owned by one major corporation. So they like, all right, this is the message, and it goes down to hundreds of sources, and yeah, they literally parrot the exact same thing. That's extremely dangerous for someone to have that much power, where they can shift an entire perspective or paint a perspective. And that's why I think Elon bought Twitter. He was like, okay, I need to at least own one of these methods.
And you have Bezos with Washington Post.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they figured it out.
I'm still on the fence of whether these people are good people or bad people.
That's the next thing. It's
And-
like, because
yeah.
now you can't trust anyone or anything. If someone gets in a position of power, the question is, are they there to fight the system, or are they actually secretly a psyop to serve the system as an antagonist to make you believe that they're fighting the system?
Well, let's go down this rabbit hole too, because I think most people have good intentions to start, but Elon has too much power, in my perspective. He's controlling the internet. He controls the roadways, and he controls space. Those satellites are wild. They're super cool technology. I'm not going to knock those. He kicked NASA's butt going to space too, which mad props, and created some of the coolest AI technology on the planet currently that's rolling. But that's the other power of control as well, as with the AI. He has his own LLM, his own AI. Like the dude, if he went full dark mode, could just be like,
We're cooked.
we're cooked. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many tinfoil hats we put on, we're cooked, literally. So one person having that much control too, I would have a little bit of a theoretical issue with, because I think he's a decent human being and he means well. He's done this all for the betterment of humanity. But all it would take is someone kidnapping his family and putting him at gunpoint, and he say, "Go push some buttons." And then we're cooked.
Yeah.
So and this is like the having this monopoly on so much power and technology. It's innovative in society. I think it's extremely beneficial in society to have these innovations, but should one person really be at the helm of all that?
Yeah. And once they get there, then they have so many resources that they just continue to build on it. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like compounded.
Well, the other thing too is, are they a corruptible person or not?
Well, and that's why I say it might not matter whether they're corruptible or not. At some point, if say you've got a 10-person family and some dude has got a sniper on all your family, or in a room all together with a button to blow everything up, most fathers are going to be like, yeah, I'll destroy the world to save my family. I mean, it's just human nature to save your family. So whether they're corrupt or not, can they be corrupted by an outside influence, or will they just turn into the next Dr. Evil and then design cyber trucks with laser beams?
I mean, again, this is all in theory, but he's even starting to play into the things. You know, recently someone made a comment about him being a 200-something-year-old alien, and he's just playing right into it on X, where he's stating where he's from and what he's doing. And you ask about, should someone have the power? Regardless if he's joking or not, you know there's a subset of the population that's going to go, yes, he's admitting the truth. And then these people start to espouse these ideas. And that's how you become an agent of chaos. You have enough influence and power that you perpetuate these things simply by going, ha ha ha, I'm having a fun time and making a joke. So that is an issue, to your point.
Yeah.
Should people have that much monopoly of power, whether they're overt about it or they are in the background? No, because it creates a massive divide between the select few and the rest of us who are kind of at the mercy of not knowing how this game is really going. You're trying to figure out truth.
It's speaking of, I think we can segue into a whole new chapter here on the living to 200 year old, and it probably branches in a couple different ways. But, you know, in theory, with technology being advances, is most people aren't aware that we're probably 50 years ahead of where we are now, but it's like an underground or a DARPA kind of situation. There's the conspiracy theory of cloning. and some of these celebrities like disappear for a little while and come back and they're mentally different or maybe look a little slightly different. What are you guys thought on I believe the technology's there. I mean, we were cloning sheep and pigs and we're making different animals glow in the dark somehow.
I've gone down this rabbit hole a little bit, so I have
All right,
some
let's
stuff to say. So there is a company supposedly in Canada called Clonade. There is a website. The lady who's in charge of it is also a high priestess for some sort of religious order that is an homage to alien races who have come here. And the original guy it was like a big sex orgy thing, right? So, as they all are.
Oh, that whole
always
intro
wore
is
white.
awesome.
It's exactly. Apparently, the cloning thing has been here for a long time, much longer than we can even fathom. And the Dolly the sheep cloning thing was supposedly just like a public display of A, look what we can do, B, it's an admittance that
Science
we have
flex.
this technology, because supposedly the rule is for these people who control everything,
Puppet masters.
yes, they can do what they want to do, providing they show us in some sort of veiled, hiding in plain sight display of their capabilities, so they're not truly fooling us. So I have gone down the rabbit hole of the cloning thing, and supposedly what happens is they can replicate the person's body, they download the consciousness, and they put it in the new person,
So Black Mirror.
basically. But if you Google Clonade, like, it's a legit company, and on its website it
Like
says
clone AID.
I believe that's what it is.
All right, viewers, if you
Just
want to go
Google
down
it, Wikipedia.
that 12 at midnight kind of deep rabbit hole that keeps you up till 6 a.m. clonate.
And the conspiracies go deep with like the Joe Biden with his different earlobes and all these different versions of the clones that eventually they start to have they malfunction over time, so they have to like put that one away and get a new one booted up. So that's what explains the going dark of that person's public appearance and persona. But it's a really weird thing. But what do you guys think? Do you think cloning's possible?
I buy into the physical, like biological cloning, but the consciousness is where I kind of like, I don't see how they would be able to do that. And if they did, it's not that person's spirit anymore. right?
Apparently, it's a soulless version of them. It's like a pre-programmed NPC automaton.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive in from a science perspective. I could totally see someone printing or growing bodies that are based off a genetic print.
People have eaten a 3D printed steak before, so you can grow tissue.
Yeah, so we can grow tissue, and our DNA has so much information in it. That's really all you need. The next thought would be just an AI LLM, and I've had this discussion with a couple people as well. It's like, can you make me a digital clone of me based off of how I would you put a recording device on me for a year, it would know how I would act, it would know my mannerisms, and you probably don't even need to do it this long or that long in modern technology right now, but we can create digital avatars of ourselves right now in like 30 minutes. That'll sound like us. It knows our speech patterns, and it's like hard to tell. So is the technology there? I think the technology is there. Are there puppet masters and elites out there that have this technology? Maybe. I can't say for a fact, but the likelihood, if I had a rate, is this a conspiracy theory or is it true? I'd give it 2 thumbs up. It's very likely true.
Yeah, I can believe it more than I don't believe it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The technology is definitely there.
Well, healthcare is just a word association. The industry of healthcare is really just illness management.
Sick care.
Yeah, because have you ever thought that the only 2 people who are considered users are drug users and social media users? So it's that kind of energy where you just want to keep people engaged in the system because drugs are incredibly profitable. Like it takes a few cents probably to make a Lipitor or a Crestor cholesterol medication, and through insurance they're paying astronomical amounts, so the profits are incredible.
Yeah.
I believe that the cure for almost any disease is possible. The technology likely exists, but then you have a bunch of healthy people who are self-sufficient, self-thinking, and self-responsible, and it's not good if we keep on the track of the global
Don't let the
elites.
monkeys get self-aware.
Yes.
Oh no.
Don't let them think for themselves.
Because when I think about if I were to make a product, the products that make the most amount of money is the one that you continuously have to buy. And we've seen this inside corporations, for example, with the light bulb, where they purposely mixed in a certain kind of chemical so that it would only last as long as it did before it would burn out. You have to buy another one. There are certain engines that last that go into 500,000, a million miles, and they're fine. But then you have the average engine that doesn't do that.
Buy a Toyota.
Yeah. So it's like, how are they capable of doing that? And we're not. Well, it's this whole consumerism, right? And coming back. So
planned obsolescence, and you want a reoccurring revenue stream in any business model. That's how you get wealthy, is reoccurrence. So these people need to come back. And if you can drop ship it even better. If it's every 10,000 miles, that's awesome. Or I guess it'd be even less. It's 3,000 miles.
Wonder what the mileage on a clone body is these days. It's got to be getting better.
Well, I mean, I guess we can dive down the Biden aspect there. I mean, was he cloned? Was he wearing a mask? There was I saw a lot of videos on the internet where I was just like, and so if Biden was constantly a clone, that clone shifted looks and speech capabilities pretty fast.
I remember watching a time-lapse video of him and all, because he's been in politics since the 70s, early 70s.
Before I was born, yeah.
And there is a time-lapse video of him throughout the years in office. And I swear, like you look at the video and it does look like a different person from beginning to end.
All the way.
Even
through his presidency. There was multiple times where you're like, what? I remember this one video of this girl. She's commenting, she's like, yo, that's a mess. And it did look like wrinkles and weird. I'm like, I mean, old people do wrinkle, but man, that dude sure looks different every time we see him on film.
But then there's the idea that Trump is a time traveler. So
let's dive into that.
Biden was a clone, but now Trump is the same guy who moves through time. And you know what's interesting? You guys obviously know who Nikola Tesla is.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about this story.
Yes. It was his uncle and his father, but his family were the ones who essentially procured all of Tesla's technology after he passed away. And no one knew what happened. Apparently there was his ray gun, he had cracked things, but they made him out to be a crazy homeless-like man who basically just nursed pigeons back to health. You told me pigeons aren't real, so we'll get into that. So if Trump's family has procured said devices, the idea is his ability to move through time explains how he's gaming this whole thing, how he overturned an election that was rigged against him, all of these things. What do you guys
dodged the bullet?
He knew when to move, exactly. He threw the fist up, and apparently his ear doesn't make sense how he got shot and how his ears healed.
Nothing, I'll be honest, nothing in politics ever makes sense anymore.
No, but then there's the idea of the book, and the Barron Trump book, which was a book written in the 1800s that described someone who looked just like Trump's son, who would rise to fame in a very specific way. So it was almost like a prediction. So the question is, did he go back in time, read the book, and then go, well, I can seed this in a way that will lay it out and make it believable to people? What do you guys think about the notion of someone, not just Trump, but someone time traveling in general?
Well, I think Tesla was an absolute genius. And someone who's seen some of Tesla's works actually said that my Cradle of Life art project looks like drawings of Tesla's time machine. I was just like, I've been asking everyone, like, please, someone give me these drawings. I want to confirm this, and I can't. So if there was a scientist that has ever existed that was theorizing time travel, I would imagine that Tesla actually was diving into that. The thought of time travel is extremely complex. I know there's been a lot of different projects and phasing material things in and out. I don't know if we've gotten there, if we have, but if you could, I mean, we had Danny on the show too, and it was really interesting. What he said is when he reached NDE, he went forward and backwards in time. Now, is it possible that Tesla literally zapped himself with so much electricity that was like being struck like by lightning, like Daniel was? And that's how he's time traveling. So maybe people have maybe it's not so much time travel, but you zap out of the third dimension, and when you're in your ether body, you're able to move. That would be my best theory, because actually moving physical 3D bodies throughout a time stream seems extremely complex.
Well, if
we're energy passed outside our body, maybe then that's my theory on the science of it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Because if you look at Star Trek, how they dissolve all the molecules, like how would you predict making sure that all those molecules organize themselves in the exact same way in a different location, in a different timeline? What if your nose ends up on your ass cheek?
Yeah. But then it creates another timeline, right? So it's like, so how many timelines are there? And so it gets very sophisticated very quickly.
Time is a dimension. If you can bend the energy of a dimension in some capacity, you can move through time theoretically. Not saying I understand the basics of the science of that, but if what you're saying is a truth, that Tesla somehow gave himself the ability to access the information in a way that it actually was a simple process, I believe time travel could be possible. We just have to look at it a different way.
Maybe that's why all these presidents age so significantly fast when they're presidency. Maybe they're just going bi-weekly NDE, getting zapped by world's biggest Tesla coil, because all of them seem to age so rapidly.
True. Except Trump.
That's my own personal tinfoil hat ticket there. We're going to say that the presidents are possibly time travelers that all get,
some do it better than others,
are dying on a weekly basis to go back and forward in time.
Yeah. Well, I got one if we're talking time.
All right, let's do it. I think we have time.
There we go. Humanity, civilization, aliens, reptilians, the true people who run this dimension. Have you guys jumped into this one at all? The reptilian race and
I thought we were going to talk about leprechauns. I'm still looking for the gold at the end of the rainbow, but yeah, if we want to do lizard people, let's do it.
Gold is a good investment right now.
I know it's going up, man. I don't know what's going on, but it's going up.
So the lizard people. Have you guys jumped into the reptilian race and how they've been
heard
part
of it?
We've all heard of it. Proving it or finding something rooted in reality here. I don't have any reference past the dinosaurs, so maybe the dinosaurs did outlive us and turned into some humans, and we don't know about it. But go for it. Let's hear it.
Well, this is what I know. So apparently, at one point in time, long before Mesopotamia existed, there were an ancient race of aliens that have been here on this planet. There's multiple races that have come: the Anunnaki, the Skywalkers. And if you look at a multitude of different cultures, I actually just watched a video on this recently. There was an African shaman, and this group of West Africans, I believe, have stories, conserved stories that explain a time before the moon arrived, which is an interesting thought, and a time when the lizard people came down to humanity. And there's been a couple different accounts of the same kind of story across different cultures over time. And sometimes the lizard people came and they were helping educate and advance humanity. Sometimes they came and they learned to manipulate the primitive species of people here, and they used them to their advantage to sustain their energy or their power, because they came to Earth because they could no longer sustain in their planet. The idea is that these races interbred with humans, and they created hybrid races. And the original families of interbreeds eventually became the kings and queens that were strategically placed around the world, the monarchy, and that's why arranged marriages used to be a thing, because they tried to keep the bloodline as intact as possible.
Sense, yeah.
And the theory is, again, this is all theory. The theory is that the modern day world elite families have this bloodline that traces back to the original seed races who are here to control and manipulate humanity, because they have a knowledge of how things work that is so far beyond our current understanding that they're just playing a game hiding in plain sight. And the reason that we're being so suppressed is because it benefits them. They feed off of our energy, our emotion, our disdain.
They're aura farming.
Basically. And they don't want us to be able to evolve, because what's actually said about humans is we theoretically are the amalgamation of all the races that came before us. We're a genetic science experiment, because I believe there is something in the human genome that looks like an insert. There's been this statement that someone edited us hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of years ago, and that edit was a splicing of off-planet beings with whatever modern humanoids were here when they showed up. So we have all of this advanced technology inside of us, which is part of this spiritual revolution that people are accessing: remote viewing, capability, psychic stuff. But it's this battle. The reptilians want to keep us suppressed, and we're trying to rise up against them. And that's who we're really fighting against in this consciousness war of good and evil. No, it was a very long explanation, but that's what it's supposed to be around.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know whether there's actual lizard people. I obviously wholeheartedly believe there are aliens. I'm sure they've, I mean, we have Area 51, which everyone knows about, broken ships. I've talked to lots of people that I've personally seen UFOs throughout my life, vividly, and just smaller moving objects.
I've seen a couple too.
Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, whether they were the U.S. Air Force or lizard people. I don't know.
Well, the lizard people thing, people think they have to look physically like lizards.
Yeah.
What is said is it's not a physical character trait. Although you look at some people, you're like,
Kinda look like a
something a little
lizard.
weird about how your physical presentation is. But it's an energetic signature. It's a hiding in plain sight. Because if you think about the aspect of growth and ascension and evolution as a being, a physical body is actually a detriment to us. It's a condensation of consciousness. It's a low vibe thing. So an advanced race at some point would no longer need a physical body. They could attune their frequency and they can insert it into things that would have a configuration that may match them. You know the movie Venom?
Yeah.
How did that? He had to find a perfect host, and the match had to be a symbiosis. So the idea of the lizard people isn't their, covering themselves in a physical suit. It's a DNA resonance in these people that you would not be able to see or sense unless you had an expanded consciousness.
Where's the
of sorts.
association to the reptiles?
In
Weird
the context, the genetics of how the race of being supposedly operates. They have a low affinity for emotion. They're very calculated. They're very cold. They're very.
So it's the cold.
It's
As a metaphor.
I guess so. It's their ability to feed off of emotion is what they do to manipulate humans to benefit them. And they have all of these traditions and these occult practices and various things that they can use because they know how to manipulate energy in the third dimension in a way that humans don't.
Sounds like a psychopath.
Could be. Yeah.
I had an interesting thought. I heard a speech someone was giving about like secret societies, and they're saying their viewpoint. And this maybe they're the reptilians.
Well,
Their
the Masons
viewpoint
and all
was the monkeys or us or society is too stupid to govern themselves, so they need the elites to govern them. Obviously, I think humanity's evolved to a certain point that if that is true, at this point they're just holding on for dear life because they enjoy the power.
I mean, that could be the warfare that we're seeing between light and dark and spirituality. That could be the practical embodiment. It could be a theory of what actually is going on as an idea.
I guess we can segue into secret societies.
Masons and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, the Masons have buildings everywhere, so that's not even a secret society. I watched this one podcast, and this guy was saying, well, they're actually it was a crazy story, and I wish I'd written the dude's name down so I could reference, but he's like, I started off as a like a wizard and doing what's the one with the witches?
Like seances and all those kinds of
like
things?
seances and
Spell casting.
He started off in like this lower level, and wanted to try, like kept wanting to elevate. So he hermetic. He went through all these different. He ended up in Satanism. So he's a Satanist, a high degree.
Oh, is this the old guy with the beard?
Yeah.
I watched that same episode.
And I was like, this is the craziest story ever. And then he's like, I went to Satanism, and then I became a Mason, and I got past 33 degrees. And he's like, and everyone in society, I didn't realize, even theorize until this guy said it, goes far beyond. And then this message of something, and that's where they start drinking blood. And then he went to Mormonism afterwards.
Yep. Yeah, he had quite the journey.
He said Mormonism and Satanism were similar. Please do not shoot me for that one, guys.
We're not advocating.
We're not advocating that. And it's the craziest story of like a guy who went through every spiritual or religion that he could find, including the darker ones, and then literally says the one of like what might be viewed as one of the cleaner ones, Mormonism. I mean, they perceive very clean by all means. They don't drink alcohol, lots very family orientated. So Satanism and Mormonism being similar, I was just like, man, this is a crazy story. But I mean, you come down to Illuminati, and obviously they have a Wikipedia. It says they're 400 years old. I went down that Wikipedia thing one day. So it's not, I guess, a conspiracy theory as just a secret society of the skull and bones. A lot of these are like good old boy clubs that were started back in the day. And I think, honestly, when I theorize something that could have occurred, I think back to that point I was making about the monkeys aren't smart enough to govern themselves. I'm sure there were like scholars way back in the day where a lot of people couldn't read. They're like, hey, we're all smart people. Like the 10 smartest bros in a town got together and like, yo, we can help everyone if we just make this club, and we can like secretly kind of guide people in the right direction, and then probably became a power struggle at a certain point. Like just most religions kind of start off with positive intonation, and then look at the Vatican is the richest country in the world, and it's like this big. It's like, okay, so that at some point they're killing everyone and stealing all their wealth, and it just seemed like a power grab more than a spiritual belief. So secret societies, thoughts?
Marino?
I don't have
I
many. I haven't done any research into it. I don't know when I think about secret society, I think it's more about like concentrations of either certain organizations or something like that. I don't think that there's a table somewhere with 10 men, white cis men, that are, making all the calls. There are a lot of organizations who have people and they're working in their best interests and they make things happen. But I think there's a lot of that. And I think that is what ultimately,
I mean, I guess we're starting a secret society here right now, because anyone on the internet can say there's 3 people wearing tinfoil hats and it made a triangle. So maybe
it's a stable structure.
Three dudes sitting down and talking is how you start a secret society in modern day.
The idea of a secret society makes sense to me in regards to what you said. Back in the days when there were more highly and lower educated people, the smarter people would have to be the key drivers of innovation. And the thing that ultimately comes into this idea is at some point, someone thinks they're the smartest, they should have the most control. And the human ego is a wily thing.
Yeah.
So if you think about the Mason story, right? There's supposedly the 33 degrees of Masonry, and most people, according to that story, who are there are actually there for altruistic purposes.
Yeah,
what they think they're there
very
for
Christian base, like very
is
spiritual base.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
When you get past that is when you get into the dark stuff, supposedly. The same can be said for all major religions. Apparently, secret societies have injected themselves in all major religions, in 3-letter agencies, and various things. Why? Because if you divide and conquer, if the ultimate goal is control, and I think that's the negative for the secret society idea, insidious control coordinated strategically across all major aspects of society that influence where society goes. If that narrative is true, I could see how that could be a thing. And, I try not to put too much cognitive bias towards what the last 5 or 10 years have looked like. But if we're theorizing, things have looked a little strange, and there seems to be more information coming to the surface than ever, but you don't really know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, there's so much information out there that make it hard to believe one thing or another. Because let's say that a video comes out of someone exposing the Illuminati, the next day CNN, Fox News, all both left and right wing will come out like, yeah, this is debunked as a hoax. I mean, there's what was it? Taylor Swift is a mind control psyop or something, like started going.
She's a witch and she does spells at her things. And
and I don't know if I subscribe to that, but there is magic in music, I believe. But it was just crazy watching all the news outlets. No, Taylor Swift is not. Don't believe this. It's like, God, that makes it seem like way more possibly realistic.
Very desperate.
Yeah, you're defending yourself to that. Yeah, I think music, or even like the lyrics and what gets chosen to be put, especially when we look at certain genres that are listened by a certain demographic of people, it's like, yeah, this is actually really not good for that demographic of people to be listening to this. And you're consciously choosing it and elevating it and promoting it.
Totally. Well, and you have one person, I don't know how many people fit in her stadiums, but she's definitely one of the biggest draws. And anything she says between those songs, people's minds are so open to happiness and joy amidst her singing that if she drops a political statement in the midst of that, people are like, oh my God, they're in a susceptible state where they would be more or less biased, I should say, and more amicable to the message, more controllable to the message. Yeah. And, so the old scriptures, beware false idols and prophets, comes to mind. It's like, be careful of those people that have so much power, and just like the Elon concept, if they're bought off, and I don't know who her overlords are. Maybe it's the reptilians, or maybe she just likes money, or maybe she really does believe in the messages she says between her songs. All theory. It is concerning when people become so famous that people will hang on their words, because I'll be honest, famous people really aren't always the brightest people to listen to. A great musician is great at making music.
Shouldn't be speaking about politics or, I mean, you can have your opinion, but you're different than everyone else. Yeah. And now that opinion is so much more significant because you're saying it. And it's just like, now we're blurring the lines. And yeah, they can have this influence that otherwise wouldn't be attributed to them. And you would know, and you can make that discernment with someone you know in your life. But with celebrities, people don't. I don't understand.
It's the assumption that their success justifies their opinion being heard louder than others. So I think what you said is very important to consider.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like we're running out of conspiracies.
The pigeons. I
we
want to
gotta
talk about
finish
this
with
one
pigeons
actually.
and cats.
So there's an actual website you can go and you could like purchase merch, but they have a diagram of the inside of a pigeon, and it's like this little computer and a little satellite or whatever. But the whole premise is that pigeons aren't real, that they're surveillance computers that are just going around, and they're like drones scanning and listening, and they're perched on your windowsill to record you and all this stuff. And some people, if you go in there and you start reading the comments, and they're like
hook, line, and sinker.
Maybe
They're
that's
like-
what Tesla was obsessed with pigeons for. Maybe he was just doing some R&D.
Well, if they're spying devices, and for the love of God, everyone, please stop feeding the spying devices.
House cats are another one. House cats are supposed to be remnants of alien hybrids that record information and send them back. Because someone once told me, he said, tell me another mammal with a vertical pupil that hisses. And I had to pause. And now that I've seen that, I can't unsee that. Because if you Google the eyes of a snake and the eyes of a cat,
I've seen that. Yeah.
they are the same.
similar.
And then I started looking at all the big savanna cats, lions, tigers, jaguars, leopards. None of them have vertical pupils.
Wow.
It's a very strange thing.
maybe
Again,
the reptiles merged their DNAs.
that's
We found our reptiles. They're the cats. They're the new listening devices in our homes.
Someone told me cats have psychic abilities and they can do mind control.
So
Cats are really intuitive.
Not Alexa, but the cat.
Some.
Yeah, it's a cat,
Got it.
not Alexa.
Not Alexa.
Actually, that was the original Alexa.
Before Amazon inserted or let you buy for $50 a listening device in your home, there were cats.
Yeah.
Cats showed up during the Egyptian times, and that was said to be the remnants of the aliens being in that area that were present in Atlantis and Lemuria and all that stuff.
Oh no, I
So-
mean they're idolized throughout. Back to Egyptian culture, which is one of the oldest noted, where they're idolized and they're in all kinds of things, and that's 4,000 years ago. I still love cats, so if they're
do
spying
too.
on me, that's
Cats
fine.
are cool.
I love cats.
Someone told me that dogs teach us unconditional love, and cats help us get to our higher selves.
Interesting. Well, if you rearrange the letters in dog, you get God.
Oh,
Unconditional
so
love,
deep.
baby.
Deep. Or that's how a dyslexic spells
What about
God.
tack?
Dog. Tack?
Tack. It's tactical.
Yeah.
It's
Tactical for your
device.
soul.
And purrs and loves fish.
Or it's act. Ooh, that's weird.
Act.
Cat. You rearrange it, it's
ACT.
act.
Rearrange, yeah.
They're
It's
acting.
acting.
They're really in
Tactically.
control. Yeah.
Yeah. That they are.
It's science. It just makes sense.
Yeah. Any others? Did we miss?
I mean, the Earth is possibly hollow. I mean, and there's an entrance at the North Pole is entertaining. Apparently, you can't fly over it. There's like a
Is-
giant hole there, maybe.
The earth round.
I heard it.
Oh,
wasn't.
And
the
are we
trolls
under
gonna
a
come out with
firmament?
This one, I do not subscribe to the Earth being flat just based off of the physics of it. I was thinking one way of so space is a vacuum, right? We'll go sciencey. Space is a vacuum. In a vacuum, what shape does most things take?
I would assume a round shape.
Spherical.
Spherical, no.
So, but if it's fluid, it'd be spherical. So the amount of pressure outside of us would create a spherical object. If you look at water and an air bubble inside something, so you leave it in there and you apply pressure, that air bubble is always
A sphere.
spherical.
And
Or
the
even in
nature of
space, when you see water, it starts to form a sphere. Everything does.
Yeah.
the nature of everything in the world is to spin.
Yeah.
Nothing stays on a Cartesian two-dimensional plane.
And most of this world is, water too. So
That is a thing.
it is a fluid object with a lot of mass in a giant vacuum. Just that alone, from a science view. I mean, there's other people say that there's a giant firmament and a dome over the planet, and if you try to go up high enough, you're going to crash into it. And
You're going to have water as above, so below.
all the missions to the moon are fake. Let's transition to that one. So I kind of just shot down flat Earth. And I'm sorry if you guys want to believe flat Earth is flat, and by all means, I just don't subscribe to it. I just think it's ridiculous. It's a huge, huge topic out there. First mission to the moon. My theory is we never made it to the moon. It was you filmed out in the desert. There's a lot of stuff circulating on that. And then we'll just go with some factual basics here. We still have trouble doing it to this day. And so, what was it, 1940 something?
I don't know.
No, it was the 50s.
Okay, it was over 50 years ago.
50s, definitely after
We
World War
didn't
II.
have iPhones. We didn't have quantum computing. And I think that it was a race. It was Russia. We were in a race to get to the moon. I think they were just like, well, why don't we just fake going there?
No one can prove it.
Yeah, no one can prove it. And then we get to claim it was a huge morale booster for America to be like, we were the first ones there. But none of the data adds up. NASA lost all their data.
We also streamed it, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
Yes.
We couldn't, there was no streaming technology back there yet. We had live film from the moon. There's so many. It just keeps
The waving
going.
flag.
There's someone that found like a rat running on the scene, or the waving flag in a vacuum. It just goes on.
Who was recording the lunar module going back up?
Yeah.
Who held the camera down there?
There's too many nuances. But I think what really sums it up is we were trying to get a win without actually being technologically advanced, because there's only India just got to the moon recently, allegedly, but that was also, it looked AI generated.
They landed. They landed on the moon.
Yeah, allegedly, India landed on the moon recently, or I just saw some AI video that was in the news, my news feed. I'm like, and the people were making fun of it on some other podcast. Like, it looks AI generated. I'm like,
I was on the moon
probably
last
was.
week.
Yeah, I mean, don't we go every weekend?
I astral projected this morning. I was kind of bored.
Another fun one was during that same era was the nuclear bomb. They showed the testing, and this guy goes, "But why didn't the camera blow up?"
Yeah, I think Joe
It's the
Rogan
most
showed-
simple questions that unravel
Yeah.
everything.
It's like the entire building shreds.
Yeah.
And it's
But the
like,
camera's
what
alive.
camera were you using?
Also, you can't put your film, and back then they only had one type of. You can't put your film through the X-ray even today, like normal film, because it'll ruin it. What does a nuclear bomb generate?
Radiation, maybe?
F tons
F tons of it, yeah.
F tons. It would have melted the film. So they didn't have digital media back then. So I mean, it's like, okay, so maybe, and this is kind of like back again to the tinfoil hat gang here, which apparently we're part of now officially. The government has repeatedly lied about a significant amount of things, or made something seem a certain way to fit their agenda throughout history. So it makes it really hard to trust the government.
The government that
which is
cried
like
wolf.
the root of the tinfoil hat gang is don't trust the government, because they're just not trustworthy. And it's like, man, you guys need to really up your game and become a little more trustworthy. Do something.
The
Come on.
nature of government is supposed to be here to serve the people. But what it's become is we've become the servants of the government because they tell us what to do and we simply follow and we
How to
comply.
think.
Yeah.
And if, what you said there is very appropriate, because the reason these conspiracy theories exist is along the way, people have gone, that doesn't check out to me. That doesn't seem to make sense, because we've been lied to.
Too
We've
many
been
times.
knowingly lied to too many times. And then the mind goes, well, if they're willing to lie about that, what else are they willing to lie about? And then people's thoughts start to run away. And yes, some of these things are applied to potentially crazy, outlandish theories. But if you lie to someone once and you break trust, then how do you ever regain trust and truth?
Can we make some new ones? And a lot of time the theory still kind of remains a theory because we can't base it off on like a mathematical fact. But it's like, looks like duck, quacks like duck, everything duck, 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 duck. And they're still saying it's not duck. It's like, come on, guys, it's a duck.
All right, I think that was our last quack.
I think the quackery has officially ended. So,
Oh, do you guys know where the term quackery comes from?
okay, we got one more.
We
Let's
got
go.
this. It's not a conspiracy theory, but it's actually a piece of historical fact. It's an adaptation from German. So back in the day, what they used to do for medical procedures is when people had high blood pressure, they would inject them with silver. It was called Quebec-silver. And what it would do, it would lower your blood pressure. No one knew how or why, but we found out it actually later perforated the glomeruli in the kidneys, so it would actually relieve the intensive pressure buildup. And the quack came from the idea that these people are absolute idiots. They're injecting people with poison to help them manage their health.
But silver's healthy.
Not in this aspect. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
much.
so
It wasn't,
not
it
this
wasn't
much.
small. Okay, I got you.
So the quacks were the people injecting people with Quebec-Silver to help
Oh.
lower blood pressure, and the term got adapted to all natural, unproven medicine.
Wow.
It's like the lunatics.
Yes. They
Yeah.
get crazy when the moon's full
Wow.
because they're influenced by the electromagnetic shift of what the moon does.
There's never a shortage of someone trying to make money off of selling snake oil somewhere. Oh, and that could just open up a whole nother can of worms, but I'm going to stop there. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us on our Tinfoil Hat Edition. I want to hear from you in the comments. I'm sure we missed a lot of theories because there's just so many. So drop your favorites in the comments. Join us and expressing yourself, and make sure you put your tinfoil hat on while you're doing it. Thank you for tuning into Everything's Energy. We'll see you guys next time.